Radiant Black, issue number 6 from Image Comics. So I've been pretty harsh on this series, well, the first few issues, and I still stand by my criticism of it. Basically, I was saying that it was too slow, too much filler, nothing really happening. Like, we literally had an issue where the entire thing was our main character struggling with writer's block. It was boring, and it wasn't living up to its premise. Like, I thought it could be so much better. Thankfully, it's actually started to pick up. The latter half of issue number 4 was great. Issue number 5 was amazing. Basically, issue number 5, Marshall, Radiant Black, discovers that there's other Radiants, and they all meet each other, and they all realize, hey, like, this alien that's trying to destroy Earth, well, he's just arrived. We got to work together so we can stop him. Otherwise, we're screwed, and the entire world is screwed. And I thought, all right, that was cool. That was a nice cliffhanger. It was basically, it reminded me a lot of the manga Gantz. If anyone's read the manga or watched the movies or the anime, it's basically like that, where a group of people who have nothing really to do with each other discover themselves with these alien suits that give them powers that they have to use to fight off other aliens that are bent on destroying the world. But you can ignore all that because this issue does not talk about any of that whatsoever. This issue is just basically one giant flashback in its Radiant Red's origin story. So for anyone who was interested in how Radiant Red became Radiant Red, well, there you go. This is going to show you how. I do find the cover kind of funny because the cover, the Radiant Red has a mannish body, even though it was revealed in the last issue that Radiant Red is a female. I do get why they do it. I'll discuss that later on when I get to it. For now, let's just jump right into this review. So we start off with Radiant Red. Her name is Satomi. She's the one in the little red vest that you see. And next to her is Owen. And Owen is her fiance. And they're engaged to get married. Well, obviously they're engaged to get married since it's her fiance. But they want to get married soon. But they can't because they are having money issues. And the family is like, hey, like, we're willing to pay for your wedding or help you out and stuff like that. Like, we want you guys to be happy. And they turn down the offer. Owen basically says that he has a deal coming through at his work, and once the deal gets finalized, he'll have enough money to be able to pay for the wedding and stuff like that. We also find out that Satomi is about to go to this pretty high-class school, so that's going to play a part later on. So yeah, we just basically get a bunch of lovey-dovey about how the parents and the family is like, well, we knew as soon as he brought Owen home that he was the one, that you guys were going to get married. You guys look absolutely happy together. Yada, yada, yada. And then when we cut to them driving alone in the car, we realize that they're not completely happy with each other. Or at least they're not completely happy because of the fact that they have money issues. And the money issues is really bad. Like, in fact, when they pull up to their house, they see a guy from the bank there waiting for them at night. So, like, that's never a good sign. And basically, it turns out that Owen is an idiot, and he has a gambling addiction, and he wasted all their money. He got into one gambling game, and then another, and now they're in the crapper because of him. It's all his fault. And so Satomi is like, okay, like, what if we get another loan from the bank? And he's like, no, we can't do that. What if we use the money that I've been saving for school? Like, we can use some of that to pay off. And Owen's like, no, like, that money is for you and for your schooling. Let's not touch that. I have this deal coming through. Once it goes through, then everything will be okay, and we'll be able to pay off all the debts. But Satomi is not happy. Like, she's still she can't sleep. So she goes out for a walk. And while she's out for a walk, she gets hit by the red meteor, radiant, whatever you want to call it. And she gets her radiant powers. And then I thought this was kind of interesting. So we see her, and she has her, as soon as she puts on her radiant suit, and we see that the radiant suit actually contours to her curves. So we see her waist, we see her breast. We see that this is obviously a female. So you might be wondering, well, then why the hell does she look like a man on the cover? Why the hell is the body shaped like a man in the previous issues? I'll cut to that pretty soon. At first, I thought that this was a poor job on the artist's part, but they actually did something really smart here. And yeah, I'll get to that in a moment. So basically, the next day, Satomi goes to the bank, and she just decides to take a loan out of her account. The account that she was saving up her money for school. And the guy there basically shows that the balance is 0. And what happened was that Owen forged her signature. And of course, she gets pissed off at him, like, where's all the money? Like, you forged my signature so you can take my money that I was using for school. Like, what are you doing? Like, we have nothing now. And Owen gets pissed off because he's like, you went to another bank and asked for a loan. Like, you know how embarrassing that is? They could mark that and it can affect what we try to do in the future. And he basically blames it all on her. Like, you ruined this. You're an idiot. You have no idea about real responsibility. And I'm just like, dude, screw off. Like, you literally are in this mess because of your gambling problems. And thankfully, Satomi doesn't take that. She actually explodes on him. Like, you're the reason we're about to lose the house. You're the reason that we're in this mess, that we have money issues. It's because of you and all your gambling problems. And she's about to walk out when he apologizes and then she takes him back. And I'm like, no, you idiot. You've been having money issues since you met this guy. He literally stole all the money out of your account by forging your signature. Like, he took money from you without asking. Why are you taking him back? Stop it. Don't be an idiot. But she's an idiot. And that's why she decided to rob the bank. And as I was saying about the whole body shape thing, before she robs the bank, she puts on her suit, and the suit takes on the shape of a guy. And I was like, all right, this was smart. Because basically, to make it even harder for people to find her identity, she plays at being a guy when she's in the radiant suit. Like, she has the suit, rather than form to her shape, it forms into a guy's shape. And I was like, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense why in the previous issues, every time you saw Radiant Red, it looked like a dude. Like, the body shape was completely a dude. That's why on the cover, the body shape is a dude. But then when you first get your powers, you look like a female. And I was like, all right, that's actually really smart. Like, I like the fact that she used her suit to do that. So it makes it even harder to find out, who exactly Radiant Red is. I will just say that I get what you're trying to do with this character. And I feel a little bit for her, a little bit of sympathy. Because it's not her fault that she's in this issue. Well, I mean, it kind of is because she's the one that's dating this guy. And she straight up said that we've had money issues since we first started going out. So what made you thought that it was a good idea to marry this dude, to be engaged to him? Why are you still with him after he stole all the money out of your bank account? Like, at that point, I would have been like, you're done. I mean, I wouldn't be with someone who's constantly gambling away all of our money. But if I was that far, as soon as they started stealing money from me, from out of my account, like forging my signature, it's like, all right, I'm washing my hands of this. Like, you're on your own. I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to tell them that you forged my signature. Maybe I can get some of that money back. Even if I can't, word through. But no, she's an idiot because she sticks with him. She's an idiot because she robs a bank and she continues robbing banks. It's like, once you rob the one bank, you're good. You can pay off your debts. Like, I'm assuming there's enough money in that bank, especially judging by this cover. You have 2 duffel bags just filled with money. Also, if you're really hammed up for money, maybe you should zip up your bag so that the money doesn't just blow out of the bags with the wind. But yeah, so I can understand why she did what she did, but then I don't understand why you're continuing to rob banks. Once you've robbed one bank, you're pretty much set for life. Also, she straight up is responsible for Marshall being killed, or at least put into a coma and in critical condition and possibly going to die. You didn't have to go after him. Like, she straight up continued robbing banks until Nathan. She continued robbing banks until Nathan got involved and stopped her at one point. Then she went after him again, and she threatened his family, and she put a bunch of innocent people in danger, and basically said, like, I'm going to kill you if you don't leave me alone. I don't care if her excuse was that, I was just trying to scare him. Like, at that point, it's like, no, you've passed the event horizon. You're done. Like, you shouldn't have gone that far. So I guess you're trying to make her sympathetic. It doesn't really work for me. Maybe it works for you. What I would have done is I would have had her rob the first bank and have Nathan happen to be in the area and he stops her. And then because of that, she gets no money. And then that's when she's like, all right, I got to scare him off because I need this money. But you had her be successful on her first try. So at that point, it was like she kept going even though she didn't need to. So the sympathy kind of runs out. It would have worked more if she failed on her first try because Nathan put a stop to it. And now she's like, oh my God, like I have all these problems. I'm in debt. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose everything because my stupid fiance forged my signature and took all my money. I need this money really badly. Like, I need it badly and I need it now. And I have these powers, and I was there. I had the money in the duffel bags. I was walking out the door. All I had to do was get home and I would be in the clear. But then this jackass shows up and puts a stop to me. Now what do? I gotta try again. But if I try again, he's just gonna show up again. So maybe now I'll scare him off a bit, and then I'll try again. Maybe I can scare him. Tell him, like, if you stop me again, if you get in my way, I'm gonna go after your family, and then I'll try to rob the bank. Maybe something like that. But the fact that she was successful and she kept doing it, now I got no sympathy for her. Like, it's like you were in the clear, you had the money, you could have paid off your debts, you just kept pushing the envelope. It's your fault. Like, whatever happened to you is on you. I would have changed that. I would have had her failed the first time because Nathan got involved. And then that way, now we get more sympathy on her, because it's like, I mean, you understand why Nathan did what he did, because all he saw was someone using their powers to rob a bank. But then when we see her story, then we realize, oh, okay, she's robbing this bank because she really needs the money. Because she's going to lose everything. And she's going to lose everything through no fault of her own, other than the fact that she picked the wrong dude to date and get engaged to. That would have made more sympathy for her. But because she was successful and she kept going when she didn't need to, I don't really care. Marshall can kill you in the next issue, and no skin off my back. I wouldn't shed a tear. But yeah. It was interesting. Like, I mean, it is cool that they decided to give us an origin story of one of the other Radiants. I don't know if they're going to do it with the other ones as well. I don't know if I would dedicate a whole issue towards it. I would have maybe even not even put it like in the main line. Maybe have issue number 6 continue where issue number 5 is, and then just have like a one shot of Radiant Red so you can find out what her backstory is. Maybe that would have been better. Because I feel like it does kind of disrupt the flow of this. Maybe if Radiant Red issue number 5 ended with the reveal of her being a woman, and her like saying, like, I didn't mean for anything to happen, I just needed the money, or just something like that, and that's where it ended. And then we continued with this, that would have worked more. But the fact that we had like this big twist at the end, and then we just kind of ignored that for this issue, I didn't really care for that. I feel like it really just disrupted the flow. But that's judging this issue with the others. If I would just take this issue on its own, it's fine. Like, the art's okay, the story's all right. Again, my only beef is just the fact that she stuck with the guy after he forged her signature. But I mean, there are women who, and not just women, but guys and stuff, who stay in relationships that are really self-destructive. So it's not like, I mean, I can understand, if you want to do a character like that, but I also would have not had her be successful in her first bank run for the reasons that I already talked about. But other than that, yeah, good issue. Just, those are basically my pet peeves of it. My nitpicks is this would have been better as a one-shot and not a continuation. Or if you did make this a continuation from issue number 5, I would have ended issue 5 earlier. I would have dragged out maybe the fight a little bit longer, and then that way the reveal of her being a female would have been in her face reveal and stuff like that. That's where you could have ended issue number 5, and then that way you can save like the whole like meeting up the other Radiants and the Gants, like, and the being who's coming to destroy Earth. You could have saved that for another cliffhanger, because right now it feels like the flow is just gone. But yeah, so what would I give this issue? I'll give it maybe a 7, just because, again, it really does mess with the flow of the story. But yeah, I mean, it's a good issue. I do recommend picking it up. I do like where they're going with this series. Like I said, I was hard on it earlier, but the last few issues have really changed my mind on it. Like, I wanted this to be a good series just because I love tokusatsu. And I love the whole like Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Gantz inspired genre and stuff like that. So I really wanted it to be good, and it just wasn't doing it for me for the first few issues, but it has been the last few issues. So yeah, the series has really picked up, and I'm glad I've stuck with it. So there you go, Radiant Black issue number 6. Check it out. I guess a recommend from me. Hope you enjoyed. Tell me what you think. If you got any recommendations for comics, manga, I am all ears, and I hope to see you next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlists that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.